This video is brought to you by Shady Gaze, eye protection specifically for gay people that'll totally blind a straight person if they wear them. No. This video is brought to you by patreon.com/doseofbuckley. I didn't really want to make another video about iDubbbz so quickly after the last one, but I also didn't want to miss an opportunity to tell the 1,700 assholes who downvoted my original Creator Clash video to find a rusty pipe and use it as a fleshlight, because their defense of iDubbbz and his influencer boxing event has aged like boxed wine up your mom's asshole. This was out of touch. Seethe. Hater. Man, you just had no idea what you were on about. In the video where I said that the Creator Clash event did not respect boxing, I got called a gatekeeper because we no longer respect the opinions of actual experts. I've been involved in the sport of boxing for 20 years, and iDubbbz fans just learned that the sport had nothing to do with cardboard about a year ago. But we live in a world where people go, why won't an actual real doctor debate RFK on Joe Rogan? Why won't Gary Kasparov play a game of chess with me on Jimmy Kimmel, guys? It's not fair. We should be treated as equals, even though I sometimes call the horsey a horsey. But anyway, the only thing I did respect for it was the fact that it was for charity. Well, iDubbbz released a video earlier this month giving everyone the bad news. Creator Clash 2 lost $250,000, and that not a dime from the event went to the advertised charities. Thankfully, one of the charities was the Alzheimer's Association. They've already forgotten all about it. Buckley, no! But anyway, the Kids Cancer Foundation, the Nicholas Children's Hospital, sorry, just no money left for you. And that sucks because, literally, that's the only reason I paid money for both of them. Well, that and to mock them on Twitch and a watch-along, but I wouldn't have done that if I knew that my money wasn't going to actual charities. What did it go toward? We'll get to that. First, let's talk about how much money they pissed away. Pay-per-view cost $25 or $35 if you bought it day of. Let's just keep it simple and say everyone paid $25. At a reported 50,000 buys, that's $1.25 million in income. Then, there was in-person tickets. The event was held at the Amalie Arena, a 21,000-seat venue. Let's say it sold 35% capacity, 7,350 seats. At an average of about $40 a ticket, that would be a $294,000 gate. So again, we'll keep this really nice and easy. We're at $1.5 million so far. Then there were sponsorships. They had a bizarre Crash Bandicoot tie-in where he came out and wrestled, big Fansly logos on the corner pads, massive Raid energy drink logo in the middle of the ring. What'd all that generate? Want to say another $100,000 for good measure? I could be way off, but I think if I am, my estimate is low. So, somehow, they spent a minimum of $1.85 million to lose $250,000. Right? And sure, there's some legit expenses. The arena's not free. Ring's probably a rental, unless iDubbbz happens to have one in his shed. Gotta pay for referees, a doctor. But that's not $1.85 million. So, this is all from the mustachioed mouth of iDubbbz himself. In his video, he says that they paid every single fighter a $20,000 stipend. He stresses that, oh, this was nothing. All of the fighters would have had to spend this on personal trainers, food, and taking time off from making videos to train. Let me stress again that I have coached boxers, readied maybe 100 boxers over the last 20 years for their first fight. I know, participation ribbons for everyone's opinions, but I've actually done this. These are amateur boxers training for one fight. If they got a personal trainer that charged them like $5,000, $10,000 for a few months of training, then this event should have been sponsored by Uber because they got taken for a fucking ride. I know they're all little special princes and princesses of the internet who can't be with the normies, but any one of them could have just joined a boxing gym in their city and trained 4-5 nights a week and been just as good. That shit costs like $50 a month. For 6 months of training, that would be $300. And at a local gym that could have used $300. Many, like mine, are volunteer run and non-profit. I watched both events. Not a single influencer had skills that looked like $20,000 worth of training. The other $19,700 wouldn't go to some sort of special food. What'd you send them to the pet store and tell them they all needed to start eating a bag of Science Diet a day? Also, were they not feeding themselves before? Nothing drastic needed to change. Maybe a little more chicken and vegetables and a lot less chips and McDonald's. For some of these people, a change in diet might have actually saved them money, not being able to just eat shitty takeout every day. But guess what? Actual fighters pay for this shit out of their own pocket. Amateur fighters don't get stipends, and pro fighters only get what they make from their fights, which, by the way, they get paid either $100 a round, so a $400 maximum, or if they're really lucky, $1,000 flat for their first fight. They pay for everything out of that. Coaches, travel, food, everything. Then, once they've had a few fights, maybe they'll get some sponsorships. If these influencers needed money to train, they should have hit up fucking Shady Rays or DraftKings or Ridge Wallet or whoever the fuck they're shilling for. It shouldn't have come out of the money that I thought was for dying orphans or whatever. But Buckley, they're valuable time. None of them needed to be training 8 hours a day. But even if they did, I've known Olympic-level athletes and pro athletes who worked on top of training. That's the life of the competitors in the sport you wanted to show respect to. And who actually stopped doing anything anyway? Andrea Botez didn't stop posting on Instagram for 6 months and shut down her fan house while training. Marisha Ray didn't stop doing Critical Role. They didn't have to delay the second season of Vox Machina because, sorry guys, Marisha's gotta work out and eat her special food. She can't voice her character. In fact, the YouTuber known as Dad used Creator Clash as more content. In fact, many of them did. So, 24 fighters times $20,000 is $480,000. Not spending that would have made up your $250,000 right there and left $230,000 for charity. And then he rented out an entire hotel for the weekend, not just for the fighters, but for all the other dumb fuck influencers who wanted to show up to be seen. What would that cost? Say a 100-room hotel, $250 a night in Florida, 3 nights. That'd be a minimum $75,000. Probably a lot more. Then there was a party before and after. Hopefully that was at the hotel they already paid for, but they probably paid for food, drinks, again, not just for the fighters, but all the other wannabes who showed up for the free hotel. And I'm guessing all the non-fighter influencers who were part of the show got something. Markiplier and Amaranth didn't just show up to look at Harley Morenstein's Metal Gear Solid cosplay. They got paid. So, what happened? iDubbbz said the last one sold 100,000 pay-per-views. He figured this one would at least do that again, maybe more. Instead, it did half. Some people claim it was because of some controversy around booting a guy named Froggy Fresh off the card because of his association with some other guy named Sam Hyde. That's a real sentence I just spoke as if it meant something. But that wouldn't have resulted in half the viewers. So, guess what he blames? Piracy! Arr, that fucking Blackbeard. He makes a claim that 1.3 million to 3 million people watched pirated streams. That's quite the spread, which suggests that they're just making numbers up. But also, the first one could have been pirated as well, and definitely was. Charity or not, those people weren't going to spend a dime, no matter what. Dude, I saw my Nerd Rants content being torrented 8 years ago. That shit was $2.50. People wouldn't spend that. No, if half the people paid compared to last year, that means there was half the interest. Maybe because they already saw you get your ass kicked. Once was already good enough. Or maybe because influencer boxing is saturated to fuck. Keemstar runs something called Happy Punch. Aaron Carter fought Lamar Odom before he died. Jake Paul lost the first time he fought a real boxer. It's played out. Blame Barstool's rough and rowdy horse shit if you need to blame someone. So, to try and make up for it, iDubbbz did a 24-hour stream with a goal of raising the $250,000. He ended up raising $162,000. At each goal, he would do something either painful or uncomfortable or humiliating, like spray ketchup directly into his throat, Or he did the ice bucket challenge. Very timely reference and also hilarious because how many fuckers did that and didn't give to charity back in the day? He shaved his mustache at $100,000, took the cinnamon challenge before that, and at $125,000 ate a habanero dinner. And again, stayed awake for 24 hours. It was a full day of self-flagellation. And all it proved was, the boxing was fucking pointless. You didn't have to spend 6 months training and $1.8 million to put on an event to get beat up. Your audience didn't give a shit about that. They just want to see you suffer. And the only thing that costs? Just your dignity. And let me tell you, at this point in your career, your dignity and $9 would still leave you 99 cents short to subscribe to your wife's OnlyFans.